This is Solution Driven Business with the Liquidity Source. Today we'll be speaking with Stuart Gelb and Jay Hochheiser about the ways they create custom solutions for their real estate clients. Stuart, can you tell us about the Liquidity Source and how you differentiate from other brokers?
We're a commercial advisory and consulting service in the commercial real estate space. We create opportunities for our clients through our custom approach to financing. We ultimately differentiate ourselves with our process, starting from underwriting the deal from a banker's position to discover and investigate the needs of our client. We also ask the client about their wish list in getting the deal done. We then develop a strategy to best suit the client. We never provide just generic quotes. Our creative thinking and high level of customer service continuously have set us apart from the other brokers in the industry.
Jay, as the founder and CEO of a wealth management firm, I can imagine how solution-driven you must be. Tell us about Hochheiser Deutsch Company.
At Hochheiser Deutsch Company, we provide comprehensive wealth management, qualified retirement plans, design and management, money management, as well as life insurance strategies and estate planning, both for individuals, businesses, and physicians in healthcare. A major differentiator for us is how we look holistically at the big picture and try to bring all these moving parts all into focus in an organized manner. Our proactive planning methodologies really help our clients pay less taxes over their lifetime, not just today or tomorrow, but over their entire lifetime. There's no replacement for being proactive today to enable you to execute different strategies later.
So, can you tell me an example of a custom strategy?
Yes, and obviously this happened during what we're going through right now, which is the pandemic, which, to make things as difficult as possible, you understand that, especially in New York City, which I'm going to give you the example of, there's a moratorium on rents, there's a moratorium on evictions, and people in this business that have commercial real estate are really struggling and having a hard time getting financing. So the example I'm going to give you that I just did recently was an accountant that called me up and said, I have a client that's really struggling. I said, well, what's the problem? He said, well, he's got a property worth like over $10 million, and the ground floor, the people that were renting there went out of business. So that was a big problem. So as I discovered the additional challenges that they also needed money because they had problems with Landmark and they had more funding to do, and they needed basically about a $3 million loan, which was quite challenging. After researching all our different banks and institutions, we found a bank that felt that with the building being worth $10 million and understanding that he had a substantial amount of funds. So here we were in a pandemic environment with the other banks that were totally about cash flow, that we were able to do something more. It was based on an asset-based loan and able to deliver a product that others wouldn't be able to do.
That's incredible.
I agree. So Jay, I'm glad you're here today with me because I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to hear what you've done over the last couple of years in our networking group and a lot of the deals in which I refer to what you do, similar to what I do, even though we're in different spaces, is that you're very solution driven. And since you're involved in insurance and creative financing, instead of just coming out and giving a guy a price on any kind of policy or any kind of quick answer to finance, you study his portfolio, you drill down on everything, and you find solutions. So why don't you give us an example of somebody that you've helped and the solutions that you found?
So I do have a great situation where we really helped a client and a family through a situation. I had a client who had a building in Long Island City worth approximately $6 million, and he also owned a business. He was getting ready to retire. He wanted to sell the building, and he had depreciated it over the years like a good accountant will do. So he was looking at selling the building. He was looking at capital gains taxes of somewhere in the $1.8 million range. And then he planned on living on the balance for him and his wife. There were also estate taxes involved with his planning. He had portfolios, he had a pension, he had other, residential real estate. So what we looked at, I had an idea of taking that building and putting it in a charitable remainder trust, because then if he sells that building in that trust, he saves the $1.8 million of capital gains tax. So him and his wife were able to get income on the full amount. The only thing is, when they were gone, the remainder of what was left went to a charity, which also meant he got a deduction for the remainder interest, and that was calculated at like another $1.6 million of tax savings. So you had $3.4 million of tax savings on a $6 million asset, which is awesome, right? The only negative was the kids weren't going to get that building. But we had also set up a pension plan for this client previously, and he had bought life insurance inside the pension plan. So when he would pass away, the children would now get the life insurance. And to be honest, the kids don't really care if they get the building or the life insurance. They're getting the same amount of money. Also, with that deduction created through that trust was those pension funds that we built up. Pensions are great because they're pre-tax when the money goes in, but when it comes out, it's all taxable. So he was able to now offset some of that income tax on the pension with the deduction for the trust. The end result was, I think his retirement income went up like 32%, and his estate taxes went down 40%. So it was a total win, a total creative strategy, like you said, Stuart, looking at the big picture, all these moving parts. How do we help him and his family pay less tax and have more income? And it was just awesome.
That's great. I think what you said, Jay, is quite amazing what we were able to do, and actually it's really expansive beyond what I'm doing, because you're taking the section, which is the commercial real estate, but you're looking at the person's entire world and figuring out from a tax strategy what they should be doing for the rest of their life and getting the most income and support for the children at the same time, which is a great advantage.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. It's very important to look at the big picture when making any financial strategy, because when people make it in a vacuum, it usually is not the best result.
When it comes to real estate, finding the right service provider is critical. The Liquidity Source and Hochheiser Deutsch Company are two solution-driven businesses that can help you support your real estate and investment strategies. If any of our viewers have questions or want to learn more, please use the link on this video to schedule a free consultation.